Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.
Hello and welcome to the Psychlegal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the attorney. I'm the therapist.
No, I'm the attorney. This is Brooke Brigham.
So today is a very exciting day. We are, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. We are starting our book club for Christine Brown Woolley's new book, Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom. And dear God, this woman found freedom.
Finally, free.
Yes. So if you regularly listen to us, watch us, you know that we cover sister wives. If you're new to us, we cover sister wives. And we're going to be covering this book. This first episode will be on our free feed and it will be on our YouTube. After that, the rest of the book club will be on our $8 tier on Patreon, where you can. So if you're enjoying this, if you enjoy this recap, you enjoy what we have to say, please go check us out there for the rest of the episodes. We don't know how many episodes it's going to be. We're just going to really take our time.
We're going to just roll with it.
Yeah, we're going to get into this book. And so it could be 4 episodes. It could be 6 or 7. It could be more. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah, we're going to just take our sweet time here.
All right. So high level, you've read farther than I am on. I'm on I'm on chapter 9 or something. You're farther along.
Yeah, I'm on chapter 18.
Yeah. Ooh. But what's your initial thoughts and feelings about the book?
Well, I'm really enjoying it. We've talked about this, it's very well written in the sense that it really sounds like Christine. This is her voice. Obviously, she had help writing this book, as every writer does, and especially if you're a first-time author, you have an editor who works with you, helps you figure out, okay, how are we going to approach this and whatnot. But when I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, this is Christine's voice.
Yeah.
She's telling us her story. And I actually think she does it very succinctly, which I appreciate.
Yes.
She gets right to the heart of it,
Well, yeah. And that's what a good editor will do. When I wrote my book, True You, Step-by-Step Guide to Conquering Your Quarter Life Crisis, go check it out on Amazon. When I wrote it, I think I had I don't know how many words I had. Tons. And when I would try to get rid of stuff, I'm like, no, that's so important.
So precious.
And then, but I hired an editor and she was like slash, like getting rid of stuff, moving stuff around. And, you need that. You need someone to say, this is, it feels important to you because you lived it or you experienced it, but no one cares. So move on. And I think it is important. So, but I truly believe that Christine sat down in front of a computer and wrote this.
Yeah. And she has even said that there were some parts initially that she left out, some stories she left out. And then she had friends or editors or whoever read it. And they're like, no, you need to put that in there. You need to say that. So I think she got good advice, good help from people. So I'm loving it. It's very interesting. And just when you thought you knew everything about the Cody Brown family, new revelations appear. And also, I have to say, I admire her strength to go through all of this and remain optimistic. She always is she's the caregiver. She's taking care of everyone. She's very optimistic. So I'm impressed with that. So I wanted to start. Do you have anything else you want to say about
No. I'm going to let you lead this because I feel like I'm a bad student. I'm farther behind than you, and I haven't highlighted as much as I wanted to. So you start.
Well, we're not going to stick to any sort of. We're just going to talk. We're just going to go through as she talks about her life. And so anyway, in the beginning of the book, there is this family tree that I want to talk about. And I think it's interesting. They did this family tree in the first book that they wrote, all of them together. I forget what it's, Sister Wives, something. We covered this like a long time ago, a couple of years ago. You should have the name of the book. But anyway, they had a family tree in that book. Now, this is Christine's family tree. So it says Cody Brown and Mary, and then Leon is their child. Cody Brown and Janelle. You have Logan, Madison, Hunter, Garrison, Gabriel, and Savannah. Cody Brown and Christine. Aspen, McKelty, Payton, Gwendolyn, Isabel, Julie. Then we have Cody Brown and Robin. Adopted by Cody from previous marriage, Dayton, Aurora, Brianna. With Cody, Solomon, and Ariella. Now, do you think this is a diss that she puts in adopted by Cody from previous marriage?
That's a good question. I don't know. I could go either way. I could see an editor or someone coming in and saying, hey, we need to factually, put this in, but not.
But they were adopted. We just covered the adoption episode and how, you legally change your name, your new parent is legally liable and responsible for you and all that kind of stuff.
So if, for example, Christine had all of the kids, but she adopted Truly, would she have said adopted above it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because you hear, you hear parents of adopted children talk about, they don't say, well, this is my adopted daughter. It's like, no, this is my daughter.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
So
interesting.
I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
So, okay. So the prologue is called Love is Love. And this is a section where she basically talks about just how wonderfully over the top happy she is.
Yeah. That she has a partner that actually talks to her and checks in on her and loves her.
He does more than that. Yeah. We talk about this all the time, how these two just, I don't know how they found each other. They seem to just be meant for each other. They seem to have a lot of fun together. The relationship with David and Truly seems to be really good. And so she's just talking about how, she's in this new life and a new house. And
I'm gloriously, can I say gloriously happy.
Yeah. Yes.
In a way that brings my shoulders to my ears in an involuntary self-hug and a satisfied smile to my face, which looks glowier even to me. And then, dear God, this woman is just floating on air.
Yeah.
Floating on air. She is so happy.
Yes. Very happy for her. And she does reflect on the past. She talks about how she's, acknowledging that her past life had many, glorious parts to it as well. And the children, she loved the children, raising all of these children. But she also talks about how she was raised, even before she became a wife and a mother. She was raised to kind of be like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Make yourself small. Don't be a bother. She says, I'm certain I come from a long line of women who have said it's fine. And the show forced me to see that it wasn't.
Yes.
So, also she starts to talk, this is a heavy part of the next chapter, talking about her family of origin. She really, it's so weird because we know that there's really dark parts of her family of origins history, but to have her tell it, she had a wonderful childhood. She was very happy. She adores her father. She dedicates this book to her father, Rex, who she just adores. And she has, just seems to have so much respect and reverence for everyone in her family, even her mother, who she had a bit of a falling out with for a few years, but now is very, very close.
I mean, and so that always, it makes me wonder when I was reading about her childhood, like, was it that idyllic?
Yeah.
Or were you, is that just your personality that you, again, she's an optimist. She's going to see the good in things. She's going to see this and that. Like, there are people that their optimism can get in their way of really seeing what the truth is. And obviously the cameras reflected that back. And I think the cameras in the show also reflected back maybe things that were happening that she wasn't seeing.
Yeah. Well, just the way she talks about, she says she came from an enchanted family, cut off from the world. I think she's talking about her family of origin.
Yeah, you came here for a story, and I have a tale with every element. From an enchanted family cut off from the world to 4 women trying to fit their toes into one glass slipper.
Yeah.
2 fathers disappearing in the night to a perfectly ordinary man developing knighthood status after years of tending by his many wives, to a woman finally understanding that she deserved the fairy tale ending she dreamed of before anyone taught her to believe any differently.
Yeah, I mean, that paragraph alone, I mean, it's like, so she's encapsulating her life into this fairy tale ending where, it starts out enchanted, then something bad happens. And then, so a dragon or a witch or something shows up. But then in the end, it's all, you get your fairy tale ending. So yeah, she still lives in La La Land.
Yes, she does. She's still the Disney princess.
Yeah.
But then she gets into, my favorite part of the story comes with a kiss so intense that every self-doubt I'd ever felt fled from my body, if only momentarily, and pulled me fully into a place where love is love. And it was the moment David kissed her.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Quite a kiss.
Yeah. I love how she didn't need to tell us who that was, because we all knew it was David, not Cody.
Well, she starts out the prologue talking about David. So
yeah,
we know. No, Cody's never kissed her like that.
No. Well, Cody hasn't ever hung around the house, checked in on her, encouraged her,
No.
Make breakfast, with Truly, all the stuff that David does on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, be a partner, a full-time partner, spouse. I mean, yeah, David's helping her build, Airbnbs and
her Airbnb empire.
Exactly.
And what's crazy about that? Back to this thing, how little encouragement she actually really needed. Because really it was David was like, oh, that you could do that. That sounds like a good idea. Why can't you do that yourself? And I mean, that's all. I think that's really all it took. It's all it took was just someone saying, no, you can do this. So
Yeah.
Day.
Okay, so then we get into the first section of the book, which is called Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is all about her family of origin, her childhood. And, like we just said, so if anyone wants to know what the history of Christine's family is, watch the documentary Daughters of the Cult.
Mm-hmm. We covered it.
Yes, we covered it a long time ago. It's all about her family because there's this crossover in her. So her mother, Annie, and her father, Rex, if you go up the line of their families, like there's this family feud, sort of long-standing, two different families, but they intersect. Basically, Christine's grandfather, Rulon, Rex's father. Rulon was the head of the AUB, their church, and he was killed by Annie's, her mother Annie's uncle, great aunt Ervil LeBaron. Annie's maiden name is LeBaron. Ervil LeBaron sent two of his wives to kill Rulon in this church feud.
Yes.
So there's this intersection and it's extremely dramatic. And that's the thing, like when you watch that Daughters of the Cult, you're just like, my God. And these women, they're Christine's cousins or second cousins or whatever, the two main women who they interview, and they look exactly like Christine. And they talk about their lives growing up and just the extreme poverty and abuse and people escaping and, just trying to survive. And
young girls marrying old men.
Yeah.
Having children, multiple wives.
All of the horrific stuff and murder. And there's more than one murder.
Oh, yeah, lots of murders. There's a lot of murders.
It happens.
But it wasn't until I was reading the book that I recognized, like everyone always talks about how Christine is, polygamy royalty. I was like, oh, but she's polygamy royalty on both sides. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Like, oh, you're really like the top of the top there,
Yeah. And Rulon was born in, Chihuahua, Mexico, which is where that LeBaron compound is, the Colonia LeBaron. I don't know if he was born there, but there was a whole contingency of Mormons who moved to Mexico, for religious reasons. Anyway, she has it all in her family. She has on both sides, very dramatic. And her mother, Annie, her father was Florin LeBaron, who was one of the brothers. There was like four brothers, like Florin and Ervil, and I can't remember the other names. But these people were violent. They were ruthless. They were vicious. That's the LeBaron side. And then the other side, Rulon Allred, Christine's dad's side, they seem to be like the nice sect of, because they were the AUB is different. For the LeBarons had a different church. They called it the Church of the Firstborn of the Fullness of Times.
Yeah. Oh God.
So yeah, but there was a lot going on, but you'd never know it by the way Christine describes her family. It's just all like roses and puppies.
Yeah.
She loved her childhood, had a happy childhood, adored her father. Her grandpa Rulon delivered her.
Yeah.
He was the midwife of the family.
She was 5 pounds. She was premature.
Your father-in-law delivers your baby.
Well, no, your grandpa.
No,
Annie.
Annie.
Oh, no, Annie, your father-in-law. Is. Oh, dear God.
That's awkward.
Yeah, that's very awkward. But I guess, again, I think in this culture, we saw Robin giving birth and her dad was there too.
That's true. Her stepfather was right at the foot of the bed taking pictures. Maybe this is a thing.
Yeah, maybe it is.
This church. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But she talks about how we all worked towards the betterment of ourselves and our community. From the day I was born, I felt cocooned in love. I mean, this was her experience.
Yeah. And so Rex had 2 wives. The other wife was Susan. Annie had 6 kids, including Christine. I think Susan had 5 or 6. But Christine loved Susan. She, her other mother, she was very, very close to her. She just, there's just nothing but happiness here.
Yeah. What's interesting, because she says, in a way I would follow in his footsteps, Rulon. He had tried to tell the world about our church to bring safety into our community. But the threats of our group didn't always come from the outside. Dun, dun, dun. So.
Yeah. So,
and I assume, sorry.
I was going to say, Rulon had to, at one point, flee from the family before he was murdered. So when Rex was young, he had to flee for safety or something. And then, the family sort of fell apart. And you know how and Cody kind of adopted this story as his mantra about, this came from Christine's family, about how they were separated as a family because of the religion, and they never saw each other again. They had to be separated. And that was when they were fleeing, from Lehigh, he kept harping on that. Like it was the same situation.
Yeah, but also Christine did too. That was Christine's story. Christine would bring that up every single time they went down to anything that had to do with polygamy and the law. And she did that. So I think obviously it became a story for the whole family, but this is Christine's story. This is what she believes.
Yeah. So she said that Rulon had to flee from the family when her dad was young, and that Rex didn't see him or many of his brothers and sisters for years, and they never lived all together as a family again. And then Rulon was murdered when Christine was just 5.
Yeah.
So there's this lore, that carried throughout the whole Brown family. And so while Christine talks so glowingly about her childhood, she does talk equally about fear, and how her father he really couldn't go to stuff at the school. Like he couldn't go see Christine's, performance, and then her sister's, recital, because they always thought, people are going to put 2 and 2 together. And, so they're very paranoid and very secretive. So there's this real dichotomy in this section. Yes. Her talking about her life.
Well, what I really wondered too was, she's having all of these, I felt engulfed in love, Rulon was love. It was like, he died when you were 5. Can you dig back into any memories before 5?
Oh God, no.
Do you have anything? You have the memory of when Mom broke her arm when she was pregnant with me. So you had to be 3.
I was 3.5 or 4.
So, I think that, right, if you have something that's traumatic for a kid, I think it's that. But this is the part that and that's why this last line of chapter 1, but the threats to our group didn't always come from outside. I feel like this is Christine's, again, she's really kind of had this Pollyanna kind of view of her childhood and these people. And again, it's, you're kind of like, what is this based on? It seems like it's based on what she was told over and over again.
Yeah.
And this really indicates sort of like this idea of, she's saying, I grew up with this idea that plural family, was a good thing, was going to make me happy, was going to be a good thing. And that really, truly, even if you're not abused, even if you're not marrying someone when you're a child, even when you're not in this, in these horrible situations, and you're this, normal, quote unquote, polygamous family, it's still effed up. It's still bad.
It still alters. it still alters your life and your experiences and limits you. And it's still not good, because chapter 2 is entitled "That's Not Us." So she was like, no, we're the good kind of polygamists. You know, we don't do those bad things. And like you just said, okay, well, that's true. But, you know, you still lived in this fear that if the authorities found out that your father was living plural marriage, that he's going to go to jail and you're never going to see him again.
But also, you married a man and stayed in a marriage for a long time because you thought that was your destiny, or that's what you were supposed to do. I mean, I think part of this, I don't think Christine's angry, but I think maybe she's alluding to, or she's getting to the point now where she's realizing, this is my feeling, that it's just not a healthy thing to do, period. You know, it's not good. You know, it's just not a healthy thing. And it really, we have yet to see a family that I could say, oh yeah, this seems good. Every single time all this stuff comes out, you know, about these polygamous families.
She's asked to, she's required to basically lie about who her siblings are, you know, and she can't claim her sister. She has to say it's her cousin when they're at school. You know, she did have a ton of fear about the outside world. She thought the world was going to end when she was 15.
Yeah.
Because these people, these religious people in their church were telling them this.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, she talks about how like they were homeschooled for a while. She doesn't say when she started in school, but third grade. That's right. So at first, the idea of going to public school really excited her. She's like, oh, more friends, play, I'm such an extrovert. And then she says they gathered all the kids down and sat them down in the living room, all the kids, and, you know, that were alive then, and the other mom and the kids there. And down to the living room, what followed was one of the most traumatizing conversations of my life. It didn't match up with anything I'd learned to that point, and it terrified me. Look, they told us, if the authorities find out your dad lives plural marriage, he's going to be thrown in jail and you're never going to see him again. Yeah, this is how you deliver this? Third grade. She's 8? Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the people that are wonderful and encompassing you with love? And this is all just love?
I mean, I guess
I know she loved them, but
yeah, I mean, this was all they knew, you know, that her parents were really raised in this stuff. And again, they came from, especially Annie's family, came from so much dysfunction that this was a good life, you know, compared to that. You know, they did not abuse their kids in the ways that other Mormon sects were SECTS were doing that, but there was it's kind of some mental abuse or emotional abuse with this.
Yeah, I mean, well, she talks about like being third grade and vague, you know, jail was vague to her and scary to her. And it was, it did feel really scary. And even we see with the episode that we are covering with our Sister Wives Rewind, you know, Dayton at 15 is scary, like is kind of traumatized when Cody brings up jail. I mean, this is, you know, it's scary.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad that she feels loved and all of that. But yeah, you can see even when the show starts and we see grown-up Christine, she is still very scared of the world. And, you know, it will take her some time to get over that. It's probably still a process that's happening. So, yeah, she talks a lot in this chapter. This is, again, this sort of this family history, the LeBaron family history, and the Allred family history, which, you know, didn't end well. The death of the murder of Rulon. And
well, also, you know, when she started school, one big thing was that she was this very outgoing person, and it was like she was living double lives. She was like this quiet kid, didn't join anything, didn't do anything, talk to people, developed, when teachers would ask her questions, she would freeze up. I developed a lisp. They brought in counseling for the lisp. But how could I speak properly if I couldn't speak my own truth? And I think that was the other part of it too, is here she's a kid, especially when you're young, you're learning all these big kind of life lessons, like life, nobody's perfect. Life isn't fair. And one was, you shouldn't lie. And she's thinking, well, except sometimes you do have to lie. And I can't imagine what that does to you, where you're kind of, this authority figure is telling you this authority figure is telling you something else. Like, who do you, and you're supposed to trust and believe both of them.
Right.
So what do you do?
It's very confusing.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah. And so an interesting point in this chapter is that she talks about how, she spent time, with her mom at the Colonia LeBaron compound, which I guess is still there today. And she actually went to a wedding there at one point, and David Woolley was there.
But they didn't see each other.
Well, I find it interesting how she phrases this. She says, my mom, me, and some of my siblings spent 6 weeks at Colonia LeBaron. We went down again a year later for a wedding. David, my future husband, was at that wedding too, but I don't remember meeting him. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't meet.
Oh.
She doesn't remember meeting him.
Okay.
I feel like those are some. Don't you feel like that's like a intentional word choice?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
But what was David doing there?
Well, because he has sisters, right? He said he had family members. Or it could also be like, he grew up in Utah. This could have been like, oh, my friend is part of this group. Or, I don't know. I don't think it's so far-fetched.
Like he knew the people who were getting married, and he was invited as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the chapter where we hear the whole story about how Rulon died and blood atonement. And just watch that documentary.
Watch that documentary. It's 8 hours or something. I mean, it's parts. It's long.
It was intense covering it. We were like, oh my God. I mean, it got to the point where it was just the same story over and over again.
Yeah, they could have tightened it up. It was way too long. And it was just like one horrible thing after another. It's like, okay, enough. Like, I can't handle hearing about how these women were abused. Okay, so then the next chapter is all about how, we talked about this already, she thought the world was going to end. She talked about how, I guess, Annie and Susan were obsessed with cleaning, made them clean all the time. She used to, like, even if she was sick, she didn't want to stay home from school because they'd make her clean all day. So she'd just go to school sick. And
yeah, we finally got our moms to let us clean extra on Friday night so we could wake up early on Saturday and watch cartoons. And so we could spend time with Dad. That's the thing is that she's talking about, they would clean between the slats in closet doors with a rag wrapped around a knife. Our moms were creative about their torture. So this is one of the things that we learned in Daughters of the Cult was that these kids, barely were in school, but like when they weren't in school, they were working and working from, sun up to sundown, working all summer long, working, and not getting paid or being paid peanuts. And, it was free labor. And so it's this interesting thing of, oh, okay, but we're the good sect. We're good. We're not abusing our kids, but I'm going to transfer this over to this crazy spotless house. Yeah. I mean, that's abusive in its own way.
Yeah. No, it's too much.
Like you have to clean extra on a Friday so that you can have time to watch a few cartoons the next day, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that alone would be enough for me to be like, my childhood sucked.
Yeah.
But for Christine, she's like, okay, whatever you want, it's okay.
Yeah.
Psych Legal Pop will be right back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.
But her mom was the party mom. Like, her mom exuded a cool vibe. So everyone wanted to hang out there, I guess, more than maybe Susan's. Because she was willing to bend the rules, especially to accommodate joy. Our fundamentalist church opposed everything from pierced ears to Christmas. Some people didn't even celebrate birthdays. And her mom was like, that's ridiculous.
Sounds fun.
So, yeah. I mean, so I can see how if everybody else is living one kind of life and you're living this life, in your mind's eye, you must have thought it was really, really great. I really wonder about Christine and if it was as good as she claims it to be.
Yeah. Well, and while she's being indoctrinated with all this stuff about the world's ending and whatever, finally she says something to her father and he's just like, what are you talking about? And he's like, go and live your life. You're going to be fine,
Mm-hmm.
Because she's saying, what's the point of going to college if the world's going to end?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, that's what the church was saying. That's what these crazy nut people were doing it. And right. And that's another way to keep these, especially girls, uneducated, married early, having babies, getting locked in. Right. Because education. So if you're going to die by 15, why don't you marry this old guy at 13? Or 14.
Well, and why is Rex? Because she's talking about how he's this walking dichotomy, and he's very into the religion and into this church that's saying these things and preaching these things, but yet at home seems different, and I don't know. He is quite a dichotomy, honestly. So, I don't know. So they ended up firing those crazy church ladies who were scaring the kids about how the world is going to end. So, now let's see. Now we start getting into, chapter 4. She meets Cody.
Yes. So, right. We hear, she gets more into like her mom. I guess her mom really was like, she believed that no one religion was better in God's eyes. And that she really gets into this thing about her mom being, she believed in our faith, but she was also a bit of a feminist. And that I come from a long line of divorces, which to me says more about freedom and strong women than it does about dysfunction. Though we certainly had our share of that. I don't know. It's just interesting. She's really kind of reframing these things.
Well, yeah, because she was angry. This comes up later in the book, but she was very angry at her mom when her mom was her dad when Christine was 19. Now looking back on it, she reframes it as being like an act of freedom. Like I'm gonna live my life. I don't want to live by these crazy rules that don't suit me. And then obviously Christine came to the same conclusion much, much later, having lived in this. But actually, I guess they were maybe, so if Christine was 19 when Annie left, let's say Annie was 20-ish. So, so Annie was like 40-ish when she left. Christine was, I think, maybe closer to 50. I don't know. It takes a while. It's a process. But you don't just wake up one day and be like, this is ridiculous.
Well, and back to those church ladies that were telling her she could die. I mean, the last line of that chapter is, I didn't know what was real. Like, that was the thing. I mean, again, you have all of these authority figures that are telling you very serious things. It's not like, I like ice cream, I like cookies. It's more like, is the world going to end when I'm 15? Is it's God's plan that I need to marry this person? So it was just, and I think what I wonder with Christine is this is why she loves all of these animated, fictional, these like tales. I think it's the romance, but I think it's also the innocence of it, and that it's fantasy. It's a version of fantasy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, she's very much. She's still talking about using the word enchanted. I think she's already used it 4 times, and we're only on chapter 3. No, she very much. I think that's her coping mechanism or something. Yeah. So chapter 4. No
girl wants a story like that.
So after she turned 18,
she said she felt like my world ended because,
well, Cody Brown, who's 4 years older than I, entered our church like a storm.
Ooh.
She was, and then she gets enchanted by Cody. But I can understand, like she says, everyone in our church liked him immediately. He led the youth group activities. And he could speak about the teachings of our religion in a compelling way. And he was cute with electric blue eyes and perfect blonde 80s hair. So at this time, I guess he's already married to Mary, because she says, my sister went on a survival trek with the church. And she said her group referred to Mary and Cody as Ma and Pa. And I remember from the first book that they wrote, now this is, so yeah, Mary and Cody were leading these youth group trips where they go camping and stuff. And so Christine met them and started going on these trips with them. And this is during one of these car trips, I think, is the infamous nachos.
No, I thought the nachos was the honeymoon.
No.
Oh, the nachos was this?
Yes.
Oh,
they were traveling. And so at this time, Christine, I believe she's being flirty with them, because she talks in this chapter about how she's thinking, well, I mean, she has her sights set on him. She wants to marry him. And so I think it was in this time period where they were going on these wilderness treks, and she's flirting, and Cody's kind of maybe, okay, like he's interested in her, and they're talking, and they're in the car, and they stop at the gas station, and that's when she gets her nachos. And then he says she grossed him out with the way she ate the nachos. And then that was it. That was the end of any chance of romance. And then shortly thereafter, he says, I'm marrying Janelle.
Yes.
But she says there's still hope. Yeah. she thinks there's still hope for her.
So around that time, she's 18, and she said this is when she finally left the house. She went to community college, moved into an apartment with a few roommates. That didn't work out as well. We were all church girls, and with one being a cousin and the other probably being a cousin, because the family tree in a polygamous church is probably more of a weeping willow than an oak. Everybody's related through second mom. Okay. But basically the roommates, she had this roommate that wanted her to check in with her all the time. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So she goes back home. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, she talks about college. Did she finish?
I don't think so.
While I was in college, I took a public speaking class and it changed my personality completely. I loved telling stories or explaining how things worked. And then this is where she talks about like being outgoing, building, going to parties, built friendships.
Yeah. So then at some point, Cody and Mary
moved to Wyoming. So they moved to Wyoming. Then she said that, but I kept in touch, often talking with Cody on the phone. And during this time, this is her mom leaves when she's 19, right? So
she says her mom left and Cody was the person who who talked her through it, who she would confide in, and he's calling her. And she that really rocked her world, because not only did she leave Rex, but she also left the church. Mm-hmm. And, that led to a whole rift, because she couldn't come to her wedding. I remember there was some Sister Wives episodes where Cody and Christine talked about how for a while they were afraid, when they started having children, they were afraid to even bring their children around Annie or let her see them. They thought that she was going to try to take their kids away from them because they were still in this religion. And so Annie kind of had to earn their trust, because again, paranoia.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because she was so angry about her mom that she rebelled, but she rebelled by becoming more religious. She started to kind of emulate the other mom and trusted her, and she got really, really involved in the church, and I developed strong ideas about chastity. Mm-hmm. Then she calls Cody about what's going on, and I guess he's very, very supportive. I knew Cody was a good person and a good man. I loved his charisma and his maverick attitude. This idea that he didn't have to do things the same way everyone else did. He wasn't afraid of anything. And he did what he thought was right rather than what the priesthood leaders thought he should do. He tried to think things through on his own rather than taking someone else's word as gospel. Yeah. And she watched his relationship with Mary, which at that time was good. And she thought he was a good husband. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she she thought he'd be a good dad because she saw how he was at the youth group, and that he was easy to fall in love with. So she's falling in love with him. But one day he calls and he says, "I'm getting married again. It's Janelle." And she says, "Wait, who?"
Who's Janelle? Janelle's my new stepsister.
That's how we met. When I went home to my parents' house
in Wyoming,
he had taken a new wife, and she has a daughter who I'm now marrying. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I love this. And then the next line says, "Janelle and I had been at some of the same parties, but we had never met." Now, what parties are these two going to?
I'm sure they're like church functions or something. But yeah, that is interesting because
Janelle wasn't
part of it. And if she converted when she was that age, then, what parties did you go to Wyoming? Did you go to parties in Wyoming? That's weird.
Yeah. Where? Yeah. I didn't understand that. But anyway, she was bummed out, but she didn't give up hope because she thought, well, if he takes a third wife, it could be me. And how we all know Christine has always wanted to be a third wife.
Yes.
And look how well that worked out.
Yes. Yeah, this is, she's like, I'd known since 17 that I wanted to be the third wife because the family would have worked through all the kinks as they brought in the second wife. What could go wrong? I thought I would have two sister wives who would become my best friends or at least help me become a better person. Ooh. It's like, okay.
Yeah. How did that work out?
Yeah.
Well, now she does have a good friend in Janelle. It only took 30 years but anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is the beginning. This is the beginning of all of this. So then at some point, says they had been hanging out as friends for about 3 years. When she was 21 and Cody was 25, she said, "Of all the guys I know, I would just as soon marry you." And he took that as a proposal and talked to her dad. And I'm sure at this point, I'm sure people are telling him, "Oh yeah, this Christine, this will help you. This will give you clout in the
Well, and also
AUB world."
He talked with my dad, who adored Cody, which is interesting because by the time she gets married to David, Rex is like, "Thank God you dumped that guy."
Yeah,
So what? Yeah.
Literally,
what
he says that to her at the wedding.
Yeah, on the way down the aisle.
Yes.
On the way down the aisle, he's like, "Oh, thank God you got rid of. Oh, geez, God."
Yeah. So he's like, "This. It'll be better this time." Or what did he say? He said something. Yeah, I don't know. It was very direct. Yeah.
But here he liked Dad.
Well, he didn't know. Look, Cody clearly can be charming at first. We've all established that. But
yes,
and also Cody has changed a lot. Over time.
But because he was married to 2 other women, they can't really court or date. So basically their 3-month courtship was just the same thing, hanging out. It wasn't him ever taking out on dates. There was no going for chalupas and hot cocoa and ring on this, and a string ring. There was none of that Robin had, or even, Mary, anybody else had.
Well, and she says she didn't even meet Janelle. She knew Mary, but she didn't even meet Janelle until just before they went to talk to the church leaders, aka her grandpa. And she says she was so sweet about the whole thing. Okay. Yeah, what is Janelle thinking? Like,
I don't know.
3 months? What? How long after?
Yeah.
3-4 months? I don't know.
So she said that she wanted to remain chaste. And for me, that meant no kissing until we were married. So one evening, Cody asked me to sit on my mom's couch. My sisters ran amok as he came in with the romantic proposal. "I guess I should ask you if you want to marry me," he said. "Be still, my heart." "Yes," I said, "I'll marry you." At the time, it was all I thought I needed. There's no point in wishing for anything different because I did what I felt was right. Still, even though he'd proposed to 2 other women, I expected something. Moonlight, snow, a ring, something. "No girl wants a story like that," I told him. Soon after, on a pretty night, Cody looked at the moon. "This is a better setting," he said. Before asking me if I would marry him, I smiled and said yes. He had a Claddagh ring for me, and I had a better story. So I guess Cody kind of can get it together.
Well, I think someone may have said to him, like maybe, whoever else was there, one of her sisters probably said, "What the fuck was that?"
Or maybe someone in the church. Maybe she said something to her dad, and the dad's like, "Hello, we're royalty. Who do you think you're marrying here?"
Yeah. You better do that over again.
Yeah. And then that's the end of the section of daughter. We're on to the next section, which is sister.
Yeah. So do you want to do a little bit of this?
Yeah, we can do a little bit, but
we're going to do like 10 more minutes. We'll be at an hour. Okay. So, what's happened? Okay. So this is the wedding. So yeah, she talks about the dress, and she felt this pressure to be like very, very, very modest because, this whole time she's talking about marrying Cody, it seems like her primary concern is Mary and Janelle's feelings, which is, above and beyond because they don't seem to care too much about her feelings, but she's so afraid, and she downplays her wedding and makes it barely a wedding. She says she wants her body to be covered. She has garments. She's wearing the undergarments that I guess go to your wrists and your neck. And so she's got this really frumpy dress. She doesn't want to appear sexy or She doesn't want to be giddy or rub it in their face.
Yeah, I couldn't hold Cody's hand or whisper in his ear over cake.
What?
Sorry. She was like, I couldn't do anything romantic because Cody's wives would be at the wedding. I couldn't be sexy. I couldn't make eyes at my fiance. I couldn't hold Cody's hand or whisper in his ear over cake. Couldn't do any of that.
which is stupid. I don't where is she getting these ideas? And so she doesn't want to have a reception that's too over the top. Like she basically denies herself everything.
Yes.
To supposedly spare these people's feelings. But I mean, do they really care? I mean, are they really? I don't know. We don't know what they were thinking.
I think they care, but I think this is part of the problem of this whole sister wives situation, which is there's this back and forth of, to be a good girl, to be good sister wife, it means you need to sacrifice your own happiness for these for other sister wives. But then there are these other sister wives that are like, no, I'm not going to do that. And, I think this is the push and pull between the two. And, and I think this is where the resentment grows, which is some people are really thinking about the other person. I mean, this happens in friendships. This happens in work situations. One person is one or two more people are more cautious of people's feelings. And then you got these bulldozers who just kind of come in and say, well, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Also,
I think Janelle at this point is a couple months pregnant.
Yes. With Logan. Yeah.
Yeah. So then she says, who did she tell?
You're talking about her coworkers?
What was it? One
somehow,
of her
is this about being chased?
My coworkers detected a problem. Okay, when she was talking about this, and they said, "Wait, you're going to go from a kiss to sex on the same day?" Yeah, I said, grinning. It's fine. Yeah, that is crazy. And the kiss wasn't even good. It was just like he gave her this little peck, barely brushing her lips.
Well, we'll get to that because he was not active in this wedding planning at all.
No, he said, just do what you want. I'm busy.
But my sister and I planned the wedding. Cody wasn't interested. He didn't care about anything. Just do whatever you want to do. And then she says, I wish I had included Mary and Janelle in my wedding. It might have been fun. A good way to build a strong relationship. But I didn't do anything to let them know how thrilled I was to have them as sister wives. And that set the tone for an awkward day and problems to come.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here we are taught to believe that being strong enough to watch your husband marry another woman is why polygamy makes us better people, which is a bunch of bullshit. Anyone who can push down the jealousy that inevitably arises has done some work on herself. It's like, no, that's suppressing your feelings. Doing work on yourself is learning how to understand and manage your feelings in a way that keeps you healthy and with a healthy mindset and keeps the people outside of you are healthy. You being able to suppress your emotions, it isn't healthy. And this is such a line of bullshit. Anyway,
it really is. Like you're supposed to suffer. I mean, suffering, well, it's kind of part of a lot of religions, but this one really is, because despite how, this show tries to portray it, every single religion that, there's always this talk about suffering, like you have to suffer on earth. And this really is a kind of a cruel form of suffering.
Yes.
Having to watch your husband, be with these other women and what they're doing. And you're supposed to be, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
And they're behind the other wall.
Right.
They're on the other side of the wall. You can hear them.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's really bad. And, it's just, this is so sad. And whoever pushed, because we know that, and Cody has said this, that he was struggling because Mary and Janelle were not getting along and it was so bad. And I bet you anything someone in that church told him, oh, well, look, you know what you need to do? You need to bring in another wife to like, that'll
Mhm.
solve it. It'll keep the peace, smooth things out. You know, Christine Allred, you know,
Mhm.
you know how important she is. He
Yeah, you
already
guys
knows.
talk all the time.
He
Aren't you
already
friends?
knows her. Yeah, I think she would love to be in your family. Is someone pushed this
Mhm.
on him? Because he clearly didn't want it, didn't care. I mean, he wanted things to get better with Janelle and Mary, but he did not want to, like, clearly he was not in love with Christine, didn't even want to have sex with her,
Yeah.
you know? So this is so awful that some
It
church
is.
leader like pushed this, it made this into existence.
Well,
You know?
that and this combination of what she had been indoctrinated in her entire life. Like they set her up to be in this place of, you know, of the one amazing thing that you're going to do in your life is fall in love and get married and have children.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, there are a lot of women out there that very much like this is their destiny. I have clients who talk about like raising 4 kids on their own and you know, the husband was working all the time and how she adored every single minute of it. Like there are people that, and obviously Christine loved being a mother. So I think, but it was like this singular focus of got to fall in love, got to fall in love, got to fall in love. I got to remain chaste. I cannot, you know, experiment. I can't date. I can't get a sense of anything that I want. And they sort of, you know, they set her up with this idea of if you have love for this person and they're willing to marry you, then this is true love. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no.
Yeah.
But here she says, I remember Cody opening the door and looking at me in my shroud-like dress. I remember realizing he was stressed out on our wedding day. I remember understanding that he wasn't as excited to marry me as I was to marry him. Cody had a 1,000-yard stare. My God, I thought, what are we doing? And then she said, I won't go into the the ceremony because it's sacred, but that her grandpa was the one who said, you may now kiss the bride. In spite of what I had seen on Cody's face, I still imagined the kiss would be magical and it would seal us. It would be our first spark of intimacy. Cody gave me a peck, barely brushing my lips. You know how people like to clap after the kiss at the altar? Silence. Wow, my grandpa said. That was the quickest first kiss I've ever seen.
Oh
God.
Sad.
After that, I lost count of the awkward moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. It was just, I mean, awful.
Very awful. And, you know, yeah, so they have this sad, sad wedding. Sounds like a sad reception. Again, she says, oh, I can't throw my bouquet because if I do, it could cause friction with the other wives. And it's like, what? And she says, Mary and Janelle did not seem happy.
Oh, no.
Dinner was quiet. Yeah, I mean, God, this is sad.
They all sat at one table. Yeah,
I
because they
wish
wanted
she
everyone to
would-
be there.
I wish she would have that day just been like, wait a minute. This isn't going well. This is not how it should be.
Yeah. I think personally, we should wrap up here and we are leaving at a cliffhanger.
Oh, the wedding night.
Because that's going to take some time.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh, well, let's just
finish this up. The chapter's almost over. We're going to have to speed this up for future episodes, though, because we're only.
Oh God! Oh, that's right. We're just at. This is chapter 5.
Yes, there's 39 chapters, so we're going to have to. We're going to have to go at a quicker clip for our future.
We said that we were going to take it. We were going to.
I know, but at this rate, this is going to be like 3 months.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens.
Once a week. Once a week. This is going to take 3-4 months. So we've got to pick up the pace. But we're going to end on something that will give all of us something to think about.
Okay. You want to? I mean, God, you could just read this whole section.
Oh gosh. Well, okay. So now she's a virgin. We know she's just had her first kiss.
Yeah.
A few hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's funny because she talks about how it was awkward being at the wedding with Mary and Janelle because they know what we'll be doing later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, they know you're probably not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So first of all, he doesn't even plan a honeymoon.
Yeah, he's still morose. They like leave to go off together and he's still morose. Where are we going to go? I asked. I figured this would be the moment when he could show me he'd put some thought into it, that he wanted to make me feel special. Well, he said, I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yeah. He's like, or she says, yeah, so where are we going to stay tonight? I don't know. And then she says in italicized here, this is what she's thinking. Have you not thought about marrying me at all?
And I think,
no, Christine, no.
He hasn't thought about it.
He hasn't thought about it at all.
No, this is just one more chore that he has to do.
Yeah. He said he'd been too busy. He had 2 wives at home and Janelle was expecting a baby. Wow. So basically, okay, just cut to the chase here. They, I don't know, get a hotel, motel, whatever.
They stayed in a motel shaped like a castle.
And he just, no foreplay, no nothing. He just
went on
goes to town. He just puts it in. And she immediately, of course, is like, oh my God, she's in pain. It's hurting. And he says to her something along the lines of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry I'm hurting you. It's like, well, but then you kept doing it. Because later she says that she was so sore, it was so painful that they couldn't even try again for the rest of the honeymoon. So that means he continued to just go to town and he didn't stop and he didn't do anything. I mean, come on, Cody, you've had sex before. Do you not understand lubrication? Like, this isn't your first rodeo. Like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
And she's telling you it's painful and you're not doing anything about it. I mean, this is nuts.
It is. It is. I mean, it's cruel. This whole thing, the way in which he acted was cruel. It was cruel because it was almost like he was angry at Christine. He was angry at her
that he had to marry her.
That he had to marry her. And so I feel like this was his way of hurting her, and almost kind of like, don't look for me for sex because there will be no foreplay.
Right.
There will be none of that.
Yeah.
And she says, I've been looking forward to this for so long, I said, crying from the pain. I mean, I envisioned hand-holding, moonlight, gentle touches. I imagined feeling beautiful and adored. I imagined a loving acknowledgement of our eternal life together. And then the next day, Cody needed to return the tux. Like, he kind of goes off and she goes home. And her sister's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, we're on our honeymoon. But like, why are you here? Go on a honeymoon,
Oh, Cody had to get his deposit, his $25 deposit back for his rental tux. Yeah, no, it was like this act of hate. Like, you're going to make me I have to do this. You're going to make me do this. Something. Oh, yeah.
Like, also just the kiss, right? I'm going to give you this really kind of not even sweet, you don't need to use tongue, but like, I'm not even going to give you a sweet, kind kiss. He must have known that she obviously was a virgin, that she hadn't kissed anyone. So I'm going to give her this sweet kiss. It doesn't sound like he kissed her again. I'm like, did he kiss you before he stuck it in? Sorry to be so graphic, but like, was there a kiss there?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Sound like it.
He had the knowledge of who she was. He had been talking to her for 3 years. You knew who she was. You knew she was a romantic. You knew she cared about this. You knew she liked you. So you willingly went in there and treated her like this.
It's very aggressive.
Yes.
It's very aggressive. And she says she thought she would be safe with him. She trusted him.
Yeah.
And so their first night together, he completely breaks her trust. God, why didn't you just say, you know what, I've made a horrible mistake?
Because, and she says this at the end of the chapter, she didn't know any better. If you don't know and we've talked about this before, right? If if you've been dating creeps and then you date this really great guy that treats you really well, even if it doesn't work out, it's really important because it shows you like this is what you deserve. This is what you get. You deserve this. And again, in this culture, in this religion, women are seen as so below men that she's used to not denying herself things. She's used to that. So this, them going on this road trip afterwards, she had the high hopes of, okay, we'll make it work.
Yeah, she says, I figured things would get better. That's the last line of this chapter.
Because she can't possibly leave now. I mean, that's huge. That's a scandal. Yeah.
She just got married in front of God and her grandfather and everybody. Yeah.
And she's 21 at this point. So she's still angry at her mom. Her mom is the one, mom left the religion. She cannot be like her mom.
Right.
At this point. So.
Wow. Well, yeah. And I can't remember if we said this in the beginning, but originally she said in interviews promoting the book, she said originally she wasn't going to talk so specifically and graphically about the first night. And she had her sisters or
some close women friends,
friends read the chapter, and they're like, "No, you need to put that in there. You need to." And it does. It speaks volumes, and it's not like it's real graphic or goes into a lot of detail, but just the description of it, you're like, oh, okay. Like that.
I felt sick to my stomach.
Volumes. Yeah.
Like I felt
volumes.
Horrible for Christine. Like
I know.
You really feel like she's been assaulted. And it's awful.
It does. It does. Awful. It feels like an assault.
Well, so what I keep going back to is I keep thinking about Christine season 17 and how Cody is like knife in the kidneys and all that kind of stuff, and how calm she remained, and how, this idea of where she is here and what she thinks, like the years that it took her to get to a point where she could listen to this man that she loved and adored yelling, throwing a tantrum. And she's just like, okay,
all right,
got it. I mean, God, looking back, I don't know, maybe she had a little Xanax or something. I mean, I don't know, but she was so calm and so direct. I mean, like it almost came down to that. It's like, wow. Whew.
Yeah.
What it took for her to get there. And that's what is the real sort of, I'm sure by the time we get to the end, like this is what they're going to talk about. That's the miracle. That's the, that's not miracle. Sorry. It's more of a, that's your fairy tale.
It's the journey.
It's a journey. This is your fairy tale. You
finally got your fairy tale, Christine, and we could not be happier for you.
Yes.
But yeah, because we're rewatching the whole series, and you see it. You see the stages. You see her evolution, and there were just seminal moments with her, mostly around her children. Because that's the thing. You start fucking with my children, you're dead to me.
Well, yeah, Janelle in Ron's office at the divorce lawyer's office is like, like basically saying, yeah, marriage, you got to work through it. You got to survive it. It's like, no, he started fucking with her boys and nope, you're out. And unfortunately, I think women, mothers, this is the unfortunate piece of this is we will take a lot, but when it comes to our kids, it's like, that's the moment where it's like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Are they gonna, And so of course it's always shocking when we see people that are then just allow their kid to be hurt. So
right.
That's why it's even doubly, triply like horrible and disgusting and wrong. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, don't mess with your kids.
No. All right. Well,
what a journey. God. Okay.
Yeah, we got an hour and 11 minutes, and we got to page 38.
All right.
Moving right along.
Well, I want to say all the things that I want to say. Let me talk. Don't rush me.
I know. I feel the same way, but I don't want our listeners to get bored and be like, move on already. So let us know.
Yes.
Let us know if you like the pace. You can comment on if you're watching on YouTube or if you're on social media, wherever, let us know. Is this painful?
Yeah, some constructive comments would be great, actually.
Yes, constructive. Only constructive comments, please.
Yeah, you don't need to. If you hate us,
don't listen. Bye.
Goodbye.
Nice
we're good. We're fine. No animosity. No animosity. It's just that. But yeah, because I know a lot of other podcasts are covering the book. I don't know how they're covering it or not covering it. This is the way we wanted to cover it. But I don't know what pace they're going at versus us. So it'd be good. I haven't really listened to other people's coverage because I like all my thoughts to be my thoughts. So anyway, but again, if you enjoyed this was going to be on our free feed. So if you enjoy this and you're like, I want to hear more from them. I want to know
for the next 3 months. We're going to want to talk about this book.
I want to make my entire fall and holiday season.
Yes, the never-ending book club.
Dedicated to this book.
We'll finish by Christmas, for sure.
Yes. This book by a reality star on a third tier.
Hey, the world has been waiting for this.
Yes. No, I'm not ripping on her at all, but it's just like, it is very niche too. I mean, it's not, this isn't, we're not talking about Angelina Jolie. Like, this is not someone everybody knows.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you enjoy that, please go over to our Patreon and you need to subscribe at the $8 level. And go check us out there. Yeah. And again, if you're not interested in any of that, but you want to support us and you like us, please follow us on social media, follow us on YouTube, and subscribe to the podcast, all that good stuff. Tell a friend or two. Yeah. And that's it. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
This season on The Dream.
Supplies are being provided by nurses who run out in the middle of the night and purchase diapers, but the hospital is still charging as if they still have these items.
We are digging into every topic we've ever wanted to cover on this show.
It's a spinning plate analogy. The second that you stop spinning those plates, that crashes, so you can never stop working.
The Dream Season 4 comes at you weekly starting Monday, January 20th.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.